Hello, welcome to the tutorial for the Leadership Accelerator. This is Executive Command's Leadership Accelerator, and I'm Kevin Black. I want to walk you through this game, the game that we use in Executive Command, and as you can see on your screen, it's called Empire Earth 2. Now, what is Empire Earth 2? Well, it falls in the genre of real-time strategy games. Now, this is really important. A real-time strategy game really is a strategy game. There are some tactics. It's mostly operations, but it deals with the big picture. In this game, you're responsible for creating a nation, developing an economy, creating armies, and even really doing intelligence work. You have to find out what your enemy's doing. And all the while you're doing this, since it's real time, your opponent, your competitor, is doing the same thing. They're building their own armies, their own nations, developing their own economies, and probably spying on you. So as we do this in the Leadership Accelerator, you will first play together and you'll compete against a computer. But later on, as you go through the course, we have teams compete against one another. That's pretty exciting. So the whole purpose of this video is just to give you a brief explanation and understanding of the game itself. There are a lot of parts to this game, and I want to walk you through what the game actually looks like. So, using the software I have called Camtasia, you're going to watch me play. And as I play, I'll pause certain elements. I'll tell you what's happening. I'll be explaining my strategy, what's going on. So when we actually begin our workshops, you'll be very familiar with the game already. So let's begin. Okay, so I'm going to pause the game real quickly. What you see here, my mouse moving, this is what we call the tactical map. If you notice, I'm looking at things on the ground. Pretty simple. Now, if you look to the bottom left-hand side, this is the strategic map. Okay, this map shows you the entire map. Now, there's a better one, but just to let you know, this little map gives you a comparison, or at least tells you what you're looking at on the tactical map. If you see this little red box here, that is where I am on the strategic map. Everything right here. If I move the mouse to the left, or just drag it to the right, it moves. The screen moves up and down. Now, if you like, you can also use the arrow keys. So this is the tactical map. Now, the strategic map, if you see this button here, this is War Plans. I'm going to left click on it. Now, and look at this. This is the strategic map. Now, you might notice there are red and blue areas in this map, and they both have names. Seattle, that's an American town. The blue represents us, the Americans. We own this little province. And if you look on this little box here, that's what the province looks like. I left click on the map, and that shows us that's really our tactical map. And Liverpool. Here's the enemy. This is the British, and this is the province they own so far. Now, if you look to the north, south, east, and west, you see all these little lines, or there's other provinces. Now, a key to this game is capturing other provinces. Once you capture them, I'll show you how. Once you capture them, I'm going to get out of the strategic map. See right here, current population. When you capture a territory, what they call your population capacity increases. So right now, if you look where my arrow is, you see at number 6? That means as of right now, I have 6 people in my country. But I can make up to 45. If I capture a territory, and I'll show you how right now. We'll hit play. I'm going to grab a couple civilians.
Here.
See this axe? This axe is civilian infrastructure. And I'm going to build a city center, which is basically what you see here in Seattle. It's like a capital. I'm going to left click that, drag it, left click it, and now they built. I want you to watch what civilians do.
Here.
Now, I grab other civilians. I hold the left key down on the mouse. I make a box. And then I right-click on that new capital. And what's happening is they're going to capture that. Now, as they're working, I'll show you quickly what the enemy's doing. These guys are gathering resources. And if you notice, I can left-click on the strategic map right here. I'm left-clicking. They're building a capital center, city center, which is, again, a capital. This one's almost built. If you notice the screen right here, it tells you how much more has to go. 12,000 hit points. It's almost to 11,000 now. Now watch my current population. It went up 40. Every time you capture a population, or excuse me, a province, every time you capture one, your population goes up. Now this leads to the big, enormous element of this game, resources, resource management. Notice there are 6 major resources we have to have. Food, wood, stone, gold, iron, and saltpeter. And I'll show you what they are. What does food look like? I'm going to drag around here. Let's see if I can find some food. Okay, see this little bush here? I'm going to grab my civilians.
What is it?
And I'm going to right-click.
Moving.
On this mango tree, which is food. That's one way. That's one thing of food. This little patch here, it's kind of hard to see, but this patch looks like, I guess, cabbage. I could take, let's say, 2 or 3 of these guys.
Ready.
Take 2.
Of course.
I right-click. And if you want, you can even get, what is it, a llama?
What is it?
What is it?
2 arms.
Well, once you dispatch this animal, you collect the food. And what happens is, these civilians are now only collecting food. And once they collect food, they're going to carry it back to some kind of warehouse or their city center. And once they drop it off, notice the food. Watch the food population. 415, 430. And it should be 445, 460. Now, you have to do this for all the resources. Pause again. So, what's the other resource? Well, there's wood, which are these individual trees. Here, these big forests. There is stone. Stone, this is stone right here. It looks like eggs. It looks like eggs in the ground. And if you use your wheel on your mouse, I can zoom in. We'll zoom in some, and there we go. That's what stone looks like. The next is gold. There's gold, pretty easy. Now this one, this is iron. Now I would tell you right now, iron, it really is a special resource, and it's made principally for ships. If you build ships, you're going to have to build iron. And the final resource right here, saltpeter. You're probably asking, what the heck is saltpeter? That helps build gunpowder, which you'll need for your armies, especially as we play in the American Revolution. So, how do we get all these resources? Well, I'm going to unpause the game. I'm going to click once on Seattle here. I'll right click on the ground. That just means where the civilians will come out. And I'm going to click on citizen. And remember, as you produce citizens, these are the guys who build things for you and they collect resources. Now, a trick is if you can get 2, 3, or how many ever same units on the same screen. Now, I see I have 2 city centers here. They're on the same tactical screen. I'm going to double click on one of them. I'm going to double click left. Double left click. I got both of them. So now if I hit citizen, that means both are slotted to make 3 each. So at the same time, they'll produce 3.
Ready. Right.
I'm going to put this lady here to dig some gold. So as this is going on, as a team, you'll be responsible for expanding your nation, putting civilians out to develop resources. And there are a lot of resources. So, okay, let's grab this lady.
I will.
You're probably noticing that these guys are walking pretty far back. Well, if you go to the civilian structures, we're going to build a warehouse. But apparently we need wood to do that. So So I'm going to put
Right
this
away.
person for wood. I'll grab
Yes.
these two people for wood.
Moving. Ready. I will.
Wood. And just as these guys are coming out, just to let you
Yes.
know,
Right.
many times as the game expands, you'll have a lot of people sometimes not working. If you put your mouse over the resources, you see the little civilian with the number 0 next to him? That means you have 0 citizens free, not doing anything. Now, if you notice, in about 10 seconds, this guy and gal coming out, they're going to be free. So watch. Once they stand there doing nothing, they'll be available. Now look at that. Look at the little on the resource icon where the people are at. See number 2. That means we have 2 people free to do work. I'm gonna put that on wood, and I'll left click. I'm gonna take these guys. You see this big forest? There are a lot of trees over there.
Ready.
I'm gonna take those 3 guys. I've highlighted them. I'm gonna take 4.
What can I do?
And I'm gonna right click on the
Moving.
ground. And as I right click on the ground,
course.
see they're moving. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build a warehouse. The warehouse is really where they store their food, their resources. As I click it, I move the screen with tap the screen. There it is, green. Green means it's good to go. You can put it there. I'll left click,
Yes.
and now they start building it. And once they finish building this warehouse, then they will start collecting the closest resource, which is going to be wood. Now, the advantage of putting these warehouses closest to resources is that once the guys finish chopping down wood or digging up the gold or whatever it is, they immediately just turn around and throw it in there, and they go back to work. Versus these guys down here walking back and forth. Look how much time it takes. This really increases your efficiency and production. See, look at these guys here. We got closer to that warehouse.